Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. Today I have something new to me and likely new to you as well. Just released for the 2023 model year, we have here the Garrick S6. From Garrick of Norfolk, UK, we have a watch that is the successor to the well-received S4. There's a lot to discuss here, especially the customization options, so I'm going to go over all of those. If you're interested in this watch, reach out to me, Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com, and we can get something going with Garrick. So taking a quick look at the watch, you'll notice that it's a steel case, but you won't notice that it's 904L steel Rolex style. So the super anti-corrosive alloy used here, particularly resilient against sweat and sea salt, and yes, at 100 meters water resistant, this watch is relevant to sea salt goers. Now the timepiece is 42 millimeters in diameter by 11.9 millimeters thick, lug tip to lug tip, 51.1 millimeters with a fairly broad and modern 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. While the watch does have a lot of nostalgic elements, it is an unabashed modern effort. It's not an attempt to re-edition some other brand's style or to imagine the past in a plagiarized form. It's a very original watch. It's also a fairly large dress watch. I'm going to describe it more as an all-arounder than a dress or a sports watch because it really is polyvalent. What I will say is you probably need a wrist of about my size, 16 centimeters circumference or larger, to wear this watch well. Again, it's that 51.1 millimeter lug-to-lug span you can see over the top. The cuff shot reveals it to be pretty low. With a domed bezel, it will slide underneath most cuffs. Taking a quick look at the strap, there are several options available. Everything from calfskin to alligator to ostrich to textiles. Just let them know what you want. You'll probably be able to get it. Here we have black calfskin on the bottom. We have lovely butter soft calfskin, a completely new Garrick factory strap. It's as soft as Hermes, quite impressive. You can see it includes a Garrick pin buckle, which curiously is 316 steel, but that's all right. The watch is handsomely detailed, and that continues on the buckle itself. If you note, facets in satin and polish with creases and curves, and that nuance continues elsewhere on the watch. A fairly traditional case design in the vein of the Calatrava and the Portugueser, so tapered lug profiles, two hands with small seconds, and blended lugs into the case flank. We have a large Garrick branded crown that makes for a particularly satisfying grip on its knurled surface. The feel of the detent as you wind, the ratchet is very positive and encouraging, and that continues when you withdraw the crown, where it has very, very little dead angle, or the angle that you turn before the hands start to react, almost none. It moves at the slightest finger pressure, which is quite impressive from a precision standpoint. Also note the presence of hacking or stop seconds. Now the dial is one element where you're going to get a lot of customization options. We may as well start from the outside and work in. The case is available in various golds, so reach out to Garrick about that, or you can get it in the stainless steel that you see right here. The dial, lots to describe here. You can get the dial in several different treatments: hammered, frosted, laser textured, or engine turned. You can also get the 3/4 plate of the movement hammered, frosted, laser textured, or engine turned. And that's before we even get to the colors. You can get many different colors on the dial, and if you wish, you can contrast both the finishing of the dial, that is the pattern used, with the pattern and the color of the sub-seconds. So these can be different colors as well as different cut patterns. Now they will use a real rose lathe and straight line machine on their guilloché engine turning. This is not the stamped variety. A material will be reductively engraved to create the patterns. Now we have satin metallic tracks for the minutes and then for the seconds. And this is one of the contrasts with the older S4, which had larger markers for the hours. Here we have very pared down indices. Each one of these tracks is actually first engraved and then very precisely inked by hand to create the detail level that you see here. You also have some options where the hands are considered. The hands can either be Garrick's signature anchor style or Lancine, and Lancine is the style that you see here. The hands can be polished, they can be fired blue, they can also be grained, so you have some choice even in the shape and the color and texture of the hands themselves. You can see that the hands are beautifully capped to create a handsome integrated look. Rolling the watch over on its backside, you see one of the great elements of Garrick watchmaking, which is a beautifully finished movement that is also highly customizable. We have this lovely nod to vintage English pocket watch manufacturing in the form of a cap for the crown and ratchet wheel. The ratchet wheel sits atop the barrel. You can see it's been nicely beveled on its edge. There's some satination and then a beautiful floral pattern, which I believe is engraved in this instance with a drill bit. We also have a hammered bridge in this case. Remember, there's several different finishes. Hammered is but one, and several different colors are available. You can get this bridge in silver, darker rhodium. You can get it in yellow gold or rose gold gilded. And so you have a couple of options here. All this water resistant down to 100 meters. So if you put this on a water resistant strap, it will function as an impromptu sports watch. So you could go straight from the ballroom at the yacht club to the water at the pool or on your boat. Now, taking a quick look, you can see that we have what is fundamentally a 6498 train. So that's a well-established geometry, but the fabrication is all by Garrick. So it's a manual wind. It has a 3 hertz beat rate. It has a 50-hour power reserve. And whereas not every 6497 or 6498 has stop seconds, this one does. You can also see a high-grade splayed spoke balance of the type typically fit to top-grade and chronometer-grade ETA movements. So this is all among the best available. You can also see that we have a fine adjustment by a black polished steel swan's neck regulator, but then we also have Edicron for adjusting fine rate and beat rate adjustments. All great to see because this means the watch can be regulated precisely. And in fact, Garrick goes big, making an accuracy promise, claiming their watch will run no worse than +5 seconds per day and it will not lose time, period, which is impressive because there are a lot of high horology brands and chronometer certified brands that will not make that boast. Now you can see there's a lot of fine finish. Satination on the bridge for the escape system. You can see the escapement anchor has its own satinated bridge. Then there's a skeletonized and satinated balance cock. The fine adjustment mechanism is black polished, as are all of the screw heads, which are handsomely black polished. We have a sort of satin channel around all of the pivot jewels as well as the edge of the bridge. But make no mistake, we do have mirrored anglage on the edge of the bridge as well as the ratchet wheel cap. And this is likely started using an engine of some kind, a milling wheel, and then finished using a handheld tool, probably a drill bit with a fine buffer on the end to create that polished finish. It's very attractive, and it's definitely a higher grade than you'd expect in a sub $10,000 US watch. For exact pricing specs, you're going to want to reach out to the folks at Garrick. Ask for Dave. Dave always has the answers about wait times, customization options, pricing, and delivery. Of course, 32 weeks is their current time from ordering to delivery. But the good news is they're great at communication, and you can actually sign into the update portal when you buy a Garrick watch, which gives you the ability to follow the progress of your build between the initial order and the final delivery. So they do an awful lot to make this a fun and interactive and open process. It's not like the black box of a lot of Swiss independents where you give them the money and then you wonder if you'll ever see your watch. There's quite a bit of mid-process updates with these guys. So you're going to want to reach out to Garrick. Again, you could reach out to me, Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com, or reach out to Dave Brailsford at Garrick to learn more about the all-new for 2023 Garrick S6.